another great edition of Mississippi Stories. Actually, this is a special edition of Mississippi Stories, if you can tell, because one of us is wearing a crown and the other one is not. I tell you what, we're doing a special series. Of course, the Mississippi Book Festival is coming up on August 19th. If you haven't been to the Mississippi Book Festival, folks, this is your chance. It's one of the crown jewels of the state of Mississippi. It's a great chance for you to get to meet your heroes, your author heroes, also your hero heroes. It's just really a great event, and it's a good chance to celebrate what we do really well here in Mississippi, and that is storytelling. And I'm really excited to have our guest today. She really doesn't need an introduction because she has a sash and everything with who she is, Miss Mississippi, Vivian O'Neal. And this is the second time I've gotten to interview you. I'm thrilled to be able to get down, sit down and talk to you again a little bit. We're going to talk a lot about your children's book today, and we'll touch on that just for a half second. If my calendar is right, you've been on the job now for what, about 3 months? Something like that, 2 months?
It will be 2 months on August 11th.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up because I literally...
August 10th. I should know that.
You
I was
should?
born on June 10th.
Yeah.
It goes every day. Feels like multiple days. So I really got to pay attention.
Your Instagram, I got to tell you, Vivian, I'll be really honest, your Instagram wears me out.
It wears me out too.
I know, because you're living it on that. But like I said, you've already put several miles on the loaner cars. It's George Carr. It's very nice to provide you. But you've already got to see a lot of the state. You were telling me a little bit about how you got to go to Stennis Space Center. And needless to say, I had some, middle-aged dad envy that you got to go see all where the rockets are tested and everything. But it's been fun so far, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. And the amount of people I've met, and like you said, Mississippians are really good at storytelling. I've gotten to hear so many stories, and I'm only a couple months in, and so I'm really excited for the remainder of the year to get to continue to do that. Yeah,
for people who don't know her superhero origin story, this was her 5th time trying it. You were first runner-up a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So that was close, and that had to be excruciating to come so close. I know you're happy for your
Right.
friends, and I get that. But then last year in the top 10, but this year when you heard your name called, I love the reaction. I mean, you just literally almost melted at that point. You were so happy.
I did, and it was very much a genuine reaction. You think of those moments where you get offered the job that you want, or you finally purchase your dream car. You always think about that moment, but you never know how you're truly going to react when something is given to you that you worked so hard for. And so it was an incredibly genuine reaction.
Yes.
I'm not known for being a pretty crier, but I thought it was a really special moment.
Yeah, and you got into the pageant world when you were 14, so you've been doing this for a while, and for you, it's really turned out to be a great way for you to pay for your education.
Yes.
Folks, she's about to work on her doctorate, and that's where this money, and Miss America money, is going to go toward you getting, and you're doing education administration, correct? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes, my master's is in higher education administration, so I'll probably go that education
Didn't you do
route.
communication for your bachelor's?
PR, yes.
PR, yeah.
Public relations.
Yeah, so, and you did do that. You actually worked for Senator Wicker.
I did.
That was fun.
Right out of undergrad, I did. It was an unexpected thing. I was offered the job, packed up my entire house, moved, found an apartment, moved in, started the job all in the span of 3 weeks. It was the quickest turnaround, but definitely a really rewarding experience.
I've always heard DC is amazing when you right out of college.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And the area I was in, it was a lot of young people, and it was right next to Capitol Hill, so I got to be close to it, but not too close. I could still kind of separate work and play.
But I think that experience was good, obviously, like I said, for the interviews and the issues and all the different things that you do with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the thing that I was very impressed when we talked the last time, and I'm still impressed, is that your platform is real. And this is something that is very close to your heart. And this is obviously, we're going to be talking about your children's book, but that's kind of where the whole children's book came from. So tell us a little bit about your platform, the very special person that was literally helped you give birth to this platform, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Capable is a nonprofit organization that provides disability inclusion resources to educators. It's made up of 2 different programs. So there's a kindergarten through 3rd grade disability inclusion curriculum, and then a STEM version of that curriculum for 4th through 6th graders. And I began my career in higher education. I really wanted to marry those 2 passions, and so I decided to create an inclusion training of sorts that's going to be applicable to college-age students. And so we took the lessons from the first curriculum and applied them to that inclusion seminar in order to create that. And then as a way to really highlight and expand upon representation for students with disabilities, for children specifically. That's how the idea of the book was born.
Yeah.
And it serves as a companion children's book series. So there's 4 characters throughout the curriculum, and I want to have a book per character. And the first one, I'm a little biased because it is, you know, the reason why I'm doing any of this at all, and it's called Josiah's Big Day, and that is based loosely on my younger brother Josiah, who has a very rare muscular disease called neuromyopathy. To kind of back up just a little bit, I'm the daughter of educators and the sister to a child with a disability, and so that really shaped my perspective in life and what I was passionate about, and is really where Capable was born. Was just this frustration of seeing this gap that continues to get wider and wider between students with disabilities and students without. And you know, we have policy in place that removes the physical barrier out of the classroom, but there's not really anything right now, at least not that is as permanent as a piece of, or potentially as permanent as a piece of legislation that removes the social barrier. And so that's what Capable aims to do. Yeah,
you've pretty much been able to reach to about 20,000 students in 5 states already. And you're about to have a really big platform coming up with Miss America. So I hope that helps it take, because the thing I love about it, and I think that particularly the really young curriculum too, you teach children basically to not be afraid and to be able to approach and be able to make friends with students with disabilities. And I think that, because I remember back when you were a kid, you probably, of course you had a brother, but I mean, obviously I remember as a kid, you know, the special ed kids, when you would meet them and you didn't really know how, but they're kids. At the end of the day, they're kids. And it's like, y'all have a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly. And the truth of the matter is that a lot of times it really is innocent. You know, some kids, yes, are just
jerks.
Bullies. Right.
No.
Hey, I mean, it's true.
I would know nothing about that, so I just grew up to be a jerk. So.
Oh my gosh. But the truth of the matter is that a majority of the time, it is simply that humans are inherently curious about people that look different than them, and and that is almost a fearful curiosity. They don't really know what to do with it, and so when you actually teach somebody how to channel that curiosity at a young age, it completely shifts their perspective and the way that their brain looks at people that look differently than them. And that's something that's applicable to not just students with disabilities, but anybody that looks differently in any type of way. That's, you know, that's a social skill. That's a really strong foundational social skill that, you know, a lot of kids maybe aren't getting right now, especially post-COVID. You know, this is something that's incredibly timely for a myriad of reasons.
I remember that great scene from Ted Lasso where they're doing the dart scene, and Ted's, you know, Rupert's the bad guy, and basically they play darts, and Ted ends up beating, I'm gonna spoil it, but if you haven't seen it, that's your problem. But he beats Rupert because Rupert doesn't bother to ask Ted if he could play darts. But, you know, and Ted throws out the quote, you know, be curious, not judgmental. And that's a big pillar of what you're talking about, teaching kids to be curious and making new friends. And because that skill set, like you said, can translate into other aspects of their life when they grow up and make their life better.
Absolutely.
And I got a Ted Lasso quote in there, which is really,
I know. I was impressed with that time. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan myself.
Yeah, so. Anybody who knows me knows I'm really bad about that sort of thing. Like I said, though, but you've done a good job. You've put together the curriculum. You've got the book. Tell us a little bit about the book, how it came to be. Obviously, you decided you needed to do it, and how many royalties does your brother demand off the book?
So
I mean, he's your brother at the end of the day. He's
right. I mean, it's
you got to give each other a
likeness issue or a name, image, likeness issue.
Exactly.
So I initially didn't want to write a book. I was very anti writing a book. I'd had a lot of, you know, little birdies in my ear telling me that I needed to, and that was kind of the next step. I was like, no, I'm not a writer. I'm not doing that. It was difficult enough for me to develop this curriculum in a way, because I'm one of those people that I talk to a kid like I would talk to you. Like I would just talk to them like adults, you know.
And kids actually like that, to be honest with you.
Well, and I have found that to be true in some scenarios, but I was like, from a curriculum perspective, you know, that was difficult. So I was like, I'm not writing a children's book. But the more I thought about it, and the more I did some research, and the more that I just kind of started looking around, there aren't a lot of children's books available that talk about students with disabilities or that feature students with disabilities. And I feel like we are moving in a positive direction as a society in terms of showcasing diversity in like grown-up media. You know, you'll see a commercial with a interracial couple, or you'll see a cellulite on a swimsuit model or something. And so we're getting more representation in several different ways, but children's literature is kind of being left out of the picture, and that's the most impressionable age.
Right.
And so I thought, you know what, maybe I don't necessarily want to do this right now, but I need to do this.
Yeah.
And so I took those characters and I built a story around them, loosely based off experience. The story of Josiah's Big Day is not verbatim truth, but there have been loose events that have happened that have been similar to that instance. And so it's all about teaching students how to work together and use their, what we call superpowers. We talk about our superpowers a lot in the book and in the curriculum. And to use their superpowers to come together to work towards inclusivity and work towards accessibility.
But you also have growth not only with the students, but with also the teachers and the parents and the administrators. I mean, so like I said, that's what's really so cool about what you've done with the book, but also what you're doing with the curriculum too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of teaches us all to open up our eyes a little bit and say, okay.
It does, and
Yeah.
the unfortunate truth of it is that adults need this too. I mean, we have experienced adults acting like this. I mean, my younger brother, when he was in middle school, he received awards every time their awards day, like most schools do, and his principal told him, they have a perfectly accessible stage, and his principal told him that he could not go on stage to accept his award. She told him to stay put in the audience. And my mom's sitting in the audience, and she's just devastated. I'm the one that gets more heated of the family. She gets sad about it, and I get mad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that just, it goes to show you that adults need this too. Adults can be discriminatory as well, even adults that are in positions of leadership that are supposed to be showcasing good behavior and inclusivity for their students.
So you will be an author's alley. So
yes.
That'll be fun. So people not only can meet you and get a book and then get your autograph, which is pretty cool.
Yes, I'm so excited. I grew up reading. My parents were teachers, so we did a lot of reading, and I was always in a bookstore or library when I was a kid. So
have you been to the book festival yet?
No, I haven't. I wanted to go. There were a few years ago that I wanted to go. I think it was pre-COVID. I wanted to go, and then some scheduling conflict came up, and I was like, how much better is it that I get to go for the first time to Miss Mississippi and an author? So this is really special.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be like, everybody's gonna be parting the way for you coming through.
I don't know about that, but I'm really, really excited and just
fun.
humbled that they want me to come too.
Any authors you want to meet?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at the list yet, but I need to do a little bit of research.
Yeah, they've got an author's lounge there, literally, where you can go get snacks and so forth. And you're sitting there and you walk in and there's Richard Ford. And you're just like, and there's Angie Thomas, and you're just like,
life.
and you're just like, oh wow, I'm in the room with you. And so they're doing selfies so they can't see that I'm getting the picture. So you will have a blast on that. And you're going to be bringing the book, so that'll be fun.
Yes.
So how's the book sold? Done pretty well with it?
Pretty well. I mean, we've sold over 200 copies.
That's good.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty good. It's not on any. I need to get it on Amazon. I think that's going to be the key. But it's on my website, and then I've got a couple local bookstores in Hattiesburg that sell it. So hopefully, it's Miss Mississippi. I can expand that and have it in bookstores across the state.
So you mentioned you're going to start working on the other books.
Yeah, so I've written the second one. I'm in the process of trying to get publishing and illustrating taken care of.
Yeah, how do you do that? Like I said, who did the first illustrations for you?
Heath Klinke did the first
Did a good job, by the way.
Outstanding job. Yeah. He does such a great job of just really bringing it to life. I mean, the words themselves would not have done the story justice without his illustrations. So very thankful for his artistic abilities there. But I'll probably ask him to do the second one as well, just because I want everything to be really cohesive. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really excited.
So you're in the training process. I always think of a Rocky montage of like you running up the mountain holding a log on your shoulder through the snow or something. So
I give off a Rocky vibe.
So you're in the training part.
Yes.
For Miss America at this point.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you have to do to prepare for that?
So Miss America used to be in September, and it was from crowning in June to September. It was nonstop Miss America prep and very little appearances. But since it's been moved to January, a lot of my prep is going to be on the job training. It's going to be speaking like this interview right now. It's going to be getting really comfortable with that and doing work with my community service initiative Capable and all of those things. Those are really going to be the core of the performance, because you've got interview, onstage question. Those things are gonna be really really important there. And then the rest of it's just maintenance, essentially. So
Yeah.
I'm a dancer, so my talent, I'm gonna
Maintenance,
dance
I
for
like
my
that.
talent. Yeah,
Maintenance.
just keeping those things up, keeping those skills up. So I'll just keep dancing and working on my talent and staying in shape and getting the wardrobe together. That is a job in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I've got some really incredible sponsors and an amazing prep team.
I'm about to say that's it takes a village, literally.
It
to
does.
do this. Yeah, I mean, you do, like you said, you got sponsors that help you with they help you with the interview prep and everything else. I think probably the most important person on your team is your scheduler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. I will say forever and ever that she is the real Miss Mississippi, because she is a rock star.
So you'll start back your doctorate as soon as this is all passed.
Hopefully.
'Cause
I mean,
I know you
unless
have all
I'm
this
Miss
spare
America.
time. Well, if you're Miss America, then you got another year.
Exactly.
That's
But
okay.
but yes, hopefully that will be.
No. You say it and it'll happen. So you're supposed to say when
I
I'm
haven't
Miss
even looked at
America.
programs yet, I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
So
really?
that's why I say hopefully.
Oh, yeah. So
It's
we're-
going to happen, but I just haven't.
So,
looked at
so do you hope
programs
to
yet.
do it, we're in-state, out-of-state, or you have your eyes on any place?
Probably out of state, simply because I got my first 2 degrees here in Mississippi.
Yeah, they
I've
like
always
to
heard
have-
in the world of education they like some diversity when it comes to degrees,
Yeah, they
so I'll
definitely
probably
do
look
that.
outside.
So that'll be cool. Well,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy that, it'll be fun. So, in the couple months you've been doing this, what's been 2 or 3 of the coolest things? We mentioned stennis, that's obviously, and my book would be, but I'll never be Miss Mississippi, so I'll never get to go do that, so. But I know. Because like I said, I've seen you've done a lot of television, you did the radio, you've been doing a lot of the communication part. Has there been anything that's just, at this point, you're just sitting there going, this is the most surreal thing I've ever done in my life?
You know, I have to say, the first 2 things that came to mind was going to Stennis Space Center and then Camp Shelby. Camp Shelby's in my backyard. I live 15 minutes away from it, and
Yeah.
I had no idea the level of, or just like the impact that they have. I mean, and the amount, people come from all over, not like just the country, but the world, to
For the last
train
20
at Camp
years,
Shelby.
yeah, they've come through there. I mean, well, since World War II, but I mean, particularly the War on Terror. They
Yeah.
all came through Hattiesburg.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the history that is there, and some of the places that my tour guide was fantastic, and told me all of these little fun facts about the places that we were standing, and 20, 30 years ago or 50 years ago or whatever, this place that you're standing served as this, like that. As somebody who's just a history and a political buff,
Yeah.
that was so fascinating to me. And then getting to go to Stennis Space Center, and I stood on top of the tallest testing site that they
Yeah.
had. It was terrifying, but also just exhilarating at the same time. It was so cool. And I got to put my handprint or my thumbprint on one of the engines that's with Artemis that's gonna go to space
Yeah.
the next time. It is way over my head. I'm obviously not a science person to know the correct terminology, but it was just an incredible experience. And to know that it's right here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
I mean, we have just some incredible industry, and the economic impact that we have on the country and even the world is people don't realize. So I'm excited to have the platform of Miss Mississippi to be able to not only learn about that, but highlight those things as well.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to that has been named Miss Mississippi said at the end of the day, it's like getting a doctorate in Mississippi.
It
Because
is.
you literally get, because you
It
can't
is.
understand Mississippi driving from your house to your office, when you get out and visit. So in a way, that's such a huge gift. And I mean, Glenda Grubbs, I love throwing Glenda's name around. She's a painter in Hattiesburg, but she was Miss Mississippi in the 70s. And her husband Gary is one of the best character actors ever. He's just amazing too. But she just talked about this. She said, yeah, I just hop in my borrowed Camaro and I would go off and see the world, It was just amazing. So I'm excited for you for this opportunity, but I'm also very, very excited about your platform and the fact that you're going to be helping so many kids open their eyes and be kind and create some empathy too. So anyway, but congrats on that. I hope to see you at the book festival.
Yes, I'm sure we're going to.
You'll be the one with the big crowd around you signing.
I don't know about that, but I hope so. I hope people will come see me and talk to me.
So Bill Dunlap, the great artist, and he's a writer and speaker. He's incredible art. You see him with the landscapes with the dogs, for instance. Those paintings, those are Bill's. So he and I were signing next to each other, and this was Angie Thomas's first year when The Hate U Give first came out. And we're sitting there, and he and I have like 2 or 3 people we're signing. She has literally a line that runs halfway to Hattiesburg of kids. And Bill looks at me, and I look at him, and he said, well, I'm humbled. I said, me too.
That'll do it.
Me too.
That'll
So that's
do
the
it.
way it's going to be when you're signing. You're going to have that line halfway to Hattiesburg.
Well, I'm going to let you speak it into existence.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. But it's been good catching up with you again.
Yeah.
And congratulations on all your success. And
Thank
of course, nailing Miss Mississippi, and we'll be pulling for you when you do Miss America.
Thank you so much. I
Very
appreciate
good.
it.
Hey, look, thank you for watching another edition of Mississippi Stories. This has been a great episode as well. And by the way, you can always go to MississippiToday.org and check out any past episodes of Mississippi Stories. Make sure you check out the book festival. That'll be August 19th. You can see real celebrities. That'll be a lot of fun too as well. Hey, thanks. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Mississippi Stories. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good week. Thank you for watching this episode of Mississippi Stories. Make sure to subscribe to the Mississippi Today YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified every time a new video uploads.